Rumors, leaks, hopes, and dreams, these things have fueled countless Nintendo Switch discussions over the past few weeks and months, but are all of these rumors and leaks actually good for the future of the system? Gabe and myself are here to figure that out. It's really cool to see so much fervor around the Switch, and that is only possible by leaks, by people like Laura K. Dell and Emily Rogers, and of course Nintendo with their own really excellently executed trailer that came out in the latter part of 2016. But does all of this not concrete information in a way hurt the system, in a way hurt the public perception?
And the genesis of this video, at least in my mind, was our comment section. It's a very mixed bag. A lot of people really love the discussion and they love the hype cycle and how excited people are getting, and some people are just completely fed up with it. They're like, stop talking about rumors, we know nothing on the 12th. And I can kind of see both perspectives, so I thought it would be an interesting thing to discuss for a little bit, because honestly I can see it both ways.
Yeah, I think, again, what's that phrase? Any news is good news, or all news is good news. So any sort of popularity, any sort of public promotion.
I think it's publicity.
Any publicity is good publicity. There you go. Thank you for you're a worldly man. The only way that I see this being a little bit weird is how we saw sort of the Breath of the Wild rumor cycle twist and turn. Initially, this was a game that was coming out on Wii U, and then it was coming out on NX and Wii U. And then it was, going to be the big tentpole that carried this system, into the launch. And then no, it was for surely coming in summer, and now back to launch. And as we've seen with long press cycles for any platform, you do sometimes run the risk of burnout, of fatigue, and it's hard to have fatigue with a system that you haven't seen yet, right? Because a lot of it is just speculation for speculation's sake, and because people are excited, then there's more speculation. But I do think, like, it can maybe get a little dicey if there is so much flipping and flopping without any confirmation. Now, we are getting that in January, but thus far, zero confirmation has made things a little bit tricky.
Yeah. My only fear is that it goes the way of No Man's Sky, and I don't think it will at all. But No Man's Sky had something similar where it was like such a long time coming, and excitement for it just, it was a roller coaster ride. People was at an all-time high, and then people were like, it's not gonna be what you think it is, and then delay, and like, no, now it's like really coming, and like, no, like, excuse me for my noises, but that's kind of what the consensus for this thing was. And then it came out, and people just had built it up so much in their own head that ultimately it was a disappointment. Now, do I think that happens to Zelda? Absolutely not. We've played that game, it's great. And Zelda games, for the most part, aren't bad. So, but just the fact that there's so much speculation, and so much of it that directly, like, contradicts itself, it does, like, make me wonder if we're kind of just, like, one of those race horses that's, like, chasing that white rabbit that is never going to get it. Well, until January 12th, I guess. But.
Right, and I mean, I think the saving grace here, and why maybe this isn't an issue at all, is because we do have such a firm, like, tell-all date. Without that, like you said with the No Man's Sky sort of thing, you can run this risk of hyping something into a monster that maybe it's not ready to be. But I will say that I feel like our leakers this time around have been very, very conscientious of such a fact, and they have let information loose only when it seems pretty certain. If you look at the track record in terms of how the system would work, how it would function, even little details like the IR pointer in the right Joy-Con, the extra oomph in the dock, but not because of any extra actual hardware processing power, but because of like all that stuff, the validity of their leaks, the validity of the rumors has helped really guide the discussion in a very logical and tangible way. And so, I sort of started off the video by playing devil's advocate, but I do think that where we're at now has done a lot of good for the Switch, because the conversations have been grounded in what mostly has ended up being truths, right? It's not like, oh, the Switch is going to have a 1440p screen and it's going to, output 4K and the games are going to be free. None of that. It's all been sort of building hype around things that, for the most part, have turned out to be confirmed.
You know what? Now that I think about it, these leaks and rumors have set expectations to a reasonable level, I guess. Right? Because let's say we had never heard a single leak, and all we knew was that Nintendo Switch is being revealed on the 12th. All we got was Nintendo's commercial. If that's all we had and we knew nothing else, would some people expect this thing to be like 1080p on the go, 1440p while dog? Like, would they expect things like that?
I mean, I think certain groups would, absolutely.
Yeah, so now we know to temper our expectations to a certain level, and I think maybe it did prepare us for maybe Emily Rogers and Laura Kate just helped Nintendo. And here's the exciting thing, I guess, and I mentioned this in today's earlier video. You guys can go check that out as well. Laura Kate Dale has said that she has no intention of ruining the January 12th event for anyone. That everything she is leaking isn't the cool stuff. Mm-hmm. She says she knows of some very cool stuff, but that she's not going to ruin the presentation. She wants Nintendo to still have some surprises. She wants people to still enjoy it. So, like, cool stuff is still happening that just isn't being leaked. And, these people know about it, but they think it's so cool that they want to preserve it for everybody.
Yeah, it's almost like they helped lay the foundation, right? And so from the foundation, then we could speculate and guess and wonder. But it wasn't just wild, rampant, baseless speculation. And Nintendo isn't one to do bait and switch, right? So this isn't the case of the Killzone 2 launch trailer, or the reveal trailer versus the launch trailer, and how that...
Or Watch Dogs situation or anything
Watch Dogs or No Man's Sky, any number of those. Nintendo is not a company to do that. And I think the fact that our rumor discussion was centered around patents and around websites and around, the game we played at E3, Zelda Breath of the Wild, versus, they're really... Look at this. We are getting all the info in about a week, and we have had very few, if any, fake mocks, fake, this. At one point, it was trending that direction. If you recall back, before any of this information was ever officially acknowledged, there was that, like, screen controller, right? Like the boomerang...
the oval one.
And at that point, that's maybe where rumors were being detrimental. And had that continued for months, maybe then that sets up sort of, oh my god, it's going to be this and that, and it's super HD, and it's super crisp, and the games, and, like, people even thought they saw, like, Mario Galaxy 3 in the background of the, like, all sorts of stuff. That, then you sort of get on shaky territory. Like, the situation I think no one wants is, oh god, is the speculated future better than our actual future, right? Like, is the rumored lineup or the rumored system specs or the rumored games more exciting than what we actually have? And I think that's where, the leakers have proved to be, I don't know if I can call them honest, but good enough people that they do want to leave sort of the extra magic for Nintendo to provide, so that it is not that advantage is not taken away from them.
Yeah. So super honorable of them. So, I'm glad that if anybody was going to leak these things, the people that are leaking it seem to be the right type of people in my mind. So, I'm interested to keep hearing people's thoughts in the comments, because, like I said, like there is a mixture, and we are aware that not everybody likes the leak discussion and the rumor stuff all that much, but we're aware that some of you really like it. So, it's on a personal basis. And I think you've kind of turned me around a little bit, because I thought that the leaks were maybe going to hurt it, because I would have loved to just go into the January 12th presentation knowing nothing, not knowing that Zelda was a launch title, and then I find out that day and my mind is blown and I'm jumping all over the room like you do during Lions games. Like, I would have loved that. But, I'm not getting that now when it comes to Zelda specifically, but maybe I'll get it about something else. Who knows? Yeah,
you could be blown away by the new IP that's supposed to be there. And I do think that whether it's the way that they handled it, whether it's just luck of the draw, or whether it really is just like, hey, this is a fantastic idea and a fantastic system, now we've had a couple months of people being just super psyched for this thing. And if you were blindly caught off guard on January 12th. That's really great for the hardcore. That's really great for, the people who follow Laura Kate Dell on Twitter. But I think now sort of the buzz has permeated all sorts of people. And yeah, they don't have facts about it, right? They have just some baseline foundations to go off of. But there's like virtually nothing negative right now. And so I think that by having these rumors and having it be, like I said, whether it's dumb luck, whether it's just a great system or quality leaks or what, by having sort of this momentum, they haven't even shown their hand yet. And this thing is like the new hotness. And that, that's all you can ask for.
I think it worked out perfectly. Because I don't I disagree with you when you say there's nothing negative. There are a couple of negative things, or things that can be taken in a negative way, like the 720p portability thing, the underpowered nature of the console. But the great thing is, we already went over those waters, and those waters were rough. There was already the turbulence. We're over that. We know what this is now. Now we're just smooth sailing, a la Wind Waker, to a beautiful beach full of Nintendo Switches that we can all play with each other.
For sure, and that is what we will do. Let us know how the rumors have affected you. Made you more excited? Made you nervous? Did you wish that it was nothing like it is? Or are you glad you know most of the details going in? I do think, Gabe, that's a great point, that setting expectations is incredibly important to a successful launch. If the expectations were really, really low, then okay, maybe that's not a good thing. But here they're up to snuff, right? It's 720p, but it's up to snuff. It's enough, and I think that is going to help guide Nintendo to a very successful January 12th and eventually a very successful launch. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, everybody, from myself and Gabe, Switch Force out.